It's all yours.
All righty. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody out there in Zoomville. Thank everybody for being here. Gonna be kind of winging it. Tom had a previous engagement, so some things going on, so we didn't get minutes from the last meeting or an agenda, so you're all at my mercy tonight as far as an agenda goes, and everybody knows how fast I like to get in and out of these meetings. So we don't have any minutes to go over, so we'll have to postpone that. I guess we could basically just go right into Mr. Steelsmith or anybody else that's got, or if you wanna, I tell you, we're gonna start over here.
Yeah, let's start with Molly.
Start over here with Molly, and you can introduce us to her.
Yep.
This is
Our new victim.
Ben Harder, he's been in command with us.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
He has a planning background and a law background, so yes, great, so we just wanted to bring him tonight as a member of our team who's gonna be working with the township, but also to introduce him to you as a resource for legal questions you have that we could look into for you, so. Anything
That's
else to say?
awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been, I grew up in Delaware County. I went to school over at Denison, and I had a legal education over at Oregon, so I'm glad to be back in Ohio, trying to make a difference here and, you know, trying to work with you all, and I'm excited, very excited.
Well, thank you. We're welcome to have you. Good to have you here and be part of our team.
Thank you.
That's, we've come a long way in 2 years.
Holly just wanted me to just pull up some maps, I guess kind of. As a little bit of a view, since it's been a bit since our last meeting, so. This map here is.
You move that to the side.
Just get rid of it, baby.
Okay, so these are the overlays, I'll just go a little bit, that we have implemented to date, so the CRCD. The mixed use down at the southern portion. And then the county line overlay, more of that industrial stuff here. So that's kind of where we are, currently in this overlay plan. At the last meeting that I was at, I was asked by you all to put together, a map that was showing an expanded CRCD that we could potentially implement. So this again would be the same overlay text and then just a map amendment unless there was any text that wanted to be amended by you all. So I believe that this is what we talked about. We have left out space towards the center for that center village overlay that we discussed. But yeah, so this is what that would look like. Any thoughts on this?
So we're bounded on the east by 605. I'm trying to look here.
Mhm.
Yeah, then we go down to Center Village, and so basically the northwest quadrant.
Yeah.
Okay, would be the same. And I'm looking at the Center Village portion. How big that. I think there's some farms or something there that we want to leave in the Center Village quadrant, if you can widen it out a little bit. Yeah, so. Yeah, so we've taken it all the way over to the school, the west. And maybe where we cut the first farm coming off of 605 as we go west. See how we got right there, that pink.
Yep.
So if we have that in there, then also straight west of that, take up that other farm. Yeah, where we cut them off.
Right,
Why wouldn't you go off the lake here?
I don't know, right?
Well, that's a that's a good question, other than, that's a huge area.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I guess I don't
You want
remember.
to take that out of this, is that what you're
No,
saying?
no, we're trying to cover, we're trying to get a center village. Our center village over, we're gonna have a separate overlay for center village.
Did we have a idea to not like that already?
Well, I thought we did,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
At one point, there was something. that we
In the
had.
very initial presentation,
Yeah.
like last January, it didn't.
I'm just thinking we're bigger than that on the, there, that's why I was wondering why we, where we cut these farms off.
Mhm.
If we include that, the idea was to have a walkable community from Souders over to the village.
Well, right now, Stodders is in that.
I was gonna say, the Souders is in the pink now, that's that one last property right
Yeah,
there.
that's Stodders.
I would take that
So
out,
we wanna take this out,
yeah, because that's the school property.
these out. These three.
Well, at least run that one straight,
Okay,
at least for the beginning here. And then, I would have to look and see what kind of acreage we're talking. If those open farms there.
Well, I don't know what the pieces are, but we're thinking of that. Would we also think about coming down here and over? I mean, so you're kind of creating
The square.
a square.
Yeah, I don't know, from what I've heard. And talking to developers and stuff. The main crux. Is going to be on the north side of Center Village Road. That's because you've got all those undeveloped farms. So if you have to put in more walkable neighborhoods. If you come down, that's a big horse farm. Steve, yeah, those are big horse farms. I don't know that,
Right.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't think.
Again, it's one of those where. They don't have to use it. But it creates the provision in the future to
Yeah.
use.
Well, we were trying to come up with a plan. Of available space for
Yeah,
when we started planning that. Did you find one?
yeah, do you want to,
Yeah.
let me reshare.
Yeah.
I'll just share my whole screen. Okay, so this is from the quick strategy guide. It's a lot bigger
Yeah.
than what I have.
Hmm.
I don't know that it's a lot bigger, because it's, there's the part to the,
Yeah, I guess it's not a lot bigger. The biggest difference is I guess,
oops.
sorry, I'm trying to like look at both of these.
If you can announce that with school, you can do the school.
Okay, so.
Yeah, you picked up more of that. Yeah,
Mhm.
Actually, it's almost identical.
yeah,
Except for those couple there, no. Actually, that is identical,
yeah, it is.
except for the Dunkin' Run.
it goes a little lower on Dunkin' Run, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, you're right about there, come up one more. There,
Yeah,
Which, I mean, would it make more sense just to go all the way to where Dunkin' Run intersects? It's not that much more.
Then,
They're gonna call Dunkin' Run.
yeah, so if you have. The idea is, pick up those, the whole of those two farms that we talked about, like
Yeah.
top starters. Then almost go straight across. Up on the north side of that. And pick up those farms up there on the east side of 605. Cutting across.
Mhm.
And maybe even expand it further than what the original map was. Again, trying to pick up more, single family walkable. With the downtown being, walkable commercial. And there is also talk from several planners that, and this may be wishful thinking, but to divert Center Village to the north, the Center Village Road to the north and come around like a little bypass. Keep it out of the center.
Who wants to do that in Long?
Huh?
Who's talking about doing that?
Because of the fact that Center Village is marked for improvements.
Yeah,
Because,
you don't want all the traffic from, because you're following Duncan Plains all the way across from Intel.
Mhm.
And all that traffic is gonna go right through the center of Center Village.
I mean, I thought they were more than likely gonna go up County Line and up 37.
The traffic is gonna go where
it's
it's.
gonna go, there's multiple, that's one of the routes. There's also been, there's been talk of improvement, and I hate the term, but that's what they use when they talk to us. Improvement of Center Village Road.
Well, people coming over the lake,
Yeah,
they're gonna come up to Red Bank. Over to Center Village and then keep on coming up.
yeah,
I mean, that's, Center Village is gonna get a lot busier.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and so what happens is, you'll lose, the idea was you might lose your downtown. That you're trying to make into a walkable community, if we don't get a, some type of, it was just, I'm just passing on what I.
Get it.
So anyway, so if you had a northern bypass, because that's where the open space is. To go over that so that you can keep the village atmosphere. That that we're gonna keep and create more of.
How will we
But wouldn't-
accomplish that?
Wouldn't 605 be equally a challenge for that?
Yeah, 605 is a challenge also. I'm just,
But you gotta stop and think. 605 is a challenge, I mean, and I'm gonna use this as a bad example, I hate to even say it, but if you look at 62 through New Albany. I mean, realistically, I'm not saying that's what I want it to look like.
But if you're gonna get that, kind of traffic pattern,
Wait,
then you're really not gonna create a center walkable, center
Well-
village kind of environment, are you?
well, yeah, what we're trying to do. The idea was, this is all just up ideas, guys. So you take the park area.
Yeah.
And where the concrete plant was, that whole big area, so you put your yearly farmer's market. Then you start revamping that old section up to Center Village with shops, and you take where the market is. And take those, that area, just west of the market and just south of the market. And with our-
Try to create more of a walkable.
Right,
In
yeah.
this area
Right,
and not worry so much on the other side.
right, that's just gonna
It's
be.
not the 605 is gonna be a proof there.
Yeah, that'll be residential over there.
I could see that.
But they're trying to make a walkable and then have all the facilities on this side. Where we're at now, since we've got all this land. And move all the facilities over here.
all the township facilities, sounds like an interesting idea.
Yeah, so. And on a smaller scale, Mike and I went and looked at it. There's actually alleyways and streets over there that are sort of been encroached on.
Oh, yeah.
But that one street, Water Street or something, that's fairly wide. And you could actually do pull-in angle parking. So you could park there and for your shops and people could walk up to the shops and stuff. It's pretty interesting. That's an interesting concept.
Where is, because the conversation, I see it. I was wondering where the property that Grange sits on, I see it. It's one block outside of where the white is.
Yeah. But, so if you are making notes, Molly, if we, and then if somebody wants to expand it, that's fine. But if we go ahead and fill in the one farm on the north side of Center Village. And then also fill in, that one, and then the one next to it.
Okay.
And then, of course, take the school out of the pink.
The school is this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So then that could conceivably give us our western boundary.
Mhm.
Then if you go to the east side of 605, maybe pick up out to that second large farm. I'm just right there. I'm just sort of guessing.
This one,
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that look like, guys?
How you would, I mean, you felt like
But that's gonna be village residential, so what will happen, those will probably be smaller lots in conjunction with what the village is. And the idea would be smaller homes, smaller lots, walkable neighborhood.
You're naturally gonna get it on this side.
Jim, are you thinking that you
it's the website.
With the school on this side, people are gonna want to be on
take
this
this
side.
up, come over here, up and over?
Yeah, I was just trying not to bust up the property.
Yeah.
So follow property.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
Yeah, that's a weird one that we don't wanna break up. I mean, that's the one problem with the way that Inc is right now, you're
yeah,
taking two properties and cutting it out.
yeah.
that's not right.
And that second large farm might be a stretch, it might be, that may be too much property for that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe
But it's
that's,
not that says it can't be 2 layers.
That's true, that's true.
I mean,
But what we're trying to do is come up with a general plan so that when we start working on the center village, because we're gonna expand out, you're gonna go towards Souders, then you're gonna have more, lots on that side.
I think if we come across 605. Kind of just to the first big farm and down,
This one,
yeah, I mean, that was my,
Okay.
you know, and then if we wanna jut over that little wedge of Duncan Run. And just kind of make that. Muted Texas shape. You know,
I mean, and that's not to say that. If a
It's-
property wanted to be part of Center Village in the future, they could always rezone
Exactly.
to this.
And this is just the concept, I mean, we're not ready to, you know, draw it up yet, as far as permanent. But but it's something that we've, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, that piece of that horse farm would be nice to have, but she's,
There, something like. We just messed Texas up there.
This is.
It is.
Something like that.
Yeah,
what's that look like, guys?
I think that's a good start.
okay,
Yeah, see that horse farm owns all the way. She owns three large parcels, so it's hard to just take one because they're all tied together, clear down to Gorsuch.
Well, and if we did that, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think that, you know,
realistically, with something you said, I can sit here and almost envision where that. Bypass would be.
yeah, if we did the bypass, we'd probably need that other farm that we took out.
Yeah.
That's here or there right now.
No.
But that should give us, you know, a walkable community. And also, a municipal area that'll have probably a park in it also.
As I say, we probably ought to go ahead and mark on this somehow where the park is, where this.
Yeah.
Where this building is.
sure.
Like, for example, I guess I just mark those properties out, so.
Thoughts.
Someplace, and like with water tower, maybe water, just make sure that we know the water towers are there, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, okay,
Then, so is that saved?
yeah.
Okay. So then, if we go back to the pink on the west side that you had originally drawn out,
That's not still.
yeah, here, there, yeah, your CRCD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that pretty much, on the, west side of, on the west side of 605. I think that's pretty much what we're all thinking of anyway, we were, yeah. Yeah, so that would take care of, that whole quadrant, which is which is already, pretty well divided up into homes anyway.
Yeah.
There's two parcels up by Galena. I mean, they're in this. Then there's a couple parcels off 605. But everything else is pretty much spoken for. So it should be a simple thing to write up.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to start, making up a label that, start making that a CRCD.
I think I thought we had talked that this is actually just a map change. It's not,
Yeah, unless you want any,
I see, so we're just gonna add it to.
this is just a map change, so we don't have the whole huge process to happen. We can just do just a map change.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was what I understood from.
Okay. All right,
so yeah, we'll add this in and go from there.
all right.
Okay.
So we've covered that area and I think the public will be happy with that one.
So really realistically now, the only thing that's left is the small section between Green Cook,
Right,
the 5 and that right there.
right. And there's a lot of land there. There's a lot of comments on how we would,
We do that right now.
what we would put there. Comments? Did our original comprehensive plan, Steve, you were in on that, did the original comprehensive plan have from north of Center Village on 605, is that commercial?
We had the whole 605 corridor flagged as commercial.
I was just gonna say.
And then all of, and the other one was Fancher all the way across.
Realistically, let's be realist here to a point. 605 being a major thoroughfare and us not having commercial potential along there is kind of ludicrous, really.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. So basically what we would probably want to look at is one of our mixed use plans.
That's what I was wondering. There.
We got a message on Zoom from Rhonda McIntyre is one of the participants. And her comment is, yes, we're happy with the revision. We'd love to see traffic diverted around Center Village. Given that her address is 3200 605.
Okay,
Thank you, Rhonda.
as long as it goes north of Rhonda, everything will be good, right? So we could. So we could take on the north side on Trent Road, where the first couple farms are Scott Hills, is that correct? And then this first two on the long 605? No, you go back to our Green Coat. Go back to Green Coat. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think he had wanted to be in the industrial.
Yes.
And maybe pick up 3 or 4 of those. Right. And then I'm trying to decide where.
With that analogy of a map change, if we were to add, for example, those 2 or 3 properties across from the industrial, is that still the same? Is that just a map change?
I think it's the same situation.
So we're not rewriting a zoning, we're just adding. Okay.
So what process does just a map change have to go through that's different than,
Well, we're not writing a zoning code, like, we're not writing another CRC or something. I got a head nod, so I must be right. That was my understanding.
But it has to go through the approval process, I would assume, though.
Yeah.
what
I
I,
don't know.
I don't, my
I'm asking a
my
question.
understanding, it doesn't go through the hearings and everything else.
I
Or map
thought that it
change.
still did, but that it would not, but if it were to not pass, then only this piece of it, the update,
I
does
think
not
you're
take
right.
effect.
I think you're right.
Like it wouldn't
Jeopardize.
what exists.
Which is
But
critical.
if we try to pass this change and it doesn't go all the way through, then only the part we're trying to change is what's
Gets
not taking
rejected.
effect.
That wasn't the way
That's the way I understand it, so we might need to clarify that with
I
Holly.
think
Yeah.
we need to get that clarified.
The way I would feel about it is like, technically, it's still a rezoning if you're putting this
Yeah.
cloud over all these new properties.
I can't say that I don't agree with you, I agree with you, but my understanding,
I think you're saying that we don't have to rewrite the code.
Which we don't.
Which we don't.
No, yeah, we won't.
We don't have to rewrite, it's just what happens.
do we still go through all the hearing processes to add those, let's say, add 2 properties?
I think we do.
Well, let's
But
find
it's the
out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's find out.
Yeah.
We don't have to decide that tonight.
Yeah, no, it's not, that's kind of, we can still discuss what we're wanting to add and get all that down.
Right. And find out what we,
So,
procedure we need to follow.
with 605 across here, where do we make from this, from 605 to, we sort of have property lines that almost go straight up? Are we thinking about potentially making this area in here the new mixed use?
I would say,
Yeah, so, and then just leaving this stuff out for now.
for now.
Yeah,
Okay.
still leave that out.
Okay.
But if we did across here and then follow this line up, that would make that the new mixed use.
Okay. Let me put a line in. I'll make sure those are absolutely
Yeah. What do you think,
the
guys?
boundaries.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's consistent with what we said in the comprehensive
Right,
plan.
right, that's what I was,
Yeah.
and so there's always been, what are we gonna do? Then the other thing left. And I don't know, in my mind, I haven't come up with a solution. Is you've got huge parcels right here and going up this way. And developers and planners, and people have looked at these. And they have all kinds of different ideas, nice ideas, but of what, that could be. And nothing definitive, and I just haven't come up with something to label it yet. Because of all the different ideas being thrown out there. That's a beautiful area.
I think a nice big park.
Yeah. Family owns that big parcel. Not really right.
No, I understand.
No, no. The power lines go through some of it, of course, you know where they are.
Yeah, well, we got, you mean the future?
The future ones, we've been in quite a bit of discussion with the land agents. They've been to our house a few times. We've been moving a little bit.
Take 90%.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that later.
yeah.
So, but anyway, for now. I think that's a pretty big chunk that we just covered.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back just for a step. You said adding up to where into the existing county line overlay?
You were talking about a couple of properties.
Oh. Okay, so we go up to Trenton Road
Mhm.
on where we picked up Green Cook and Trenton.
Yeah.
And I think there's 4 properties across there. Or maybe just go ahead and take all of those across
To here,
on that one quadrant. I'm not seeing where you're at.
oh, okay, let me.
Okay, go across, right there,
So adding
yeah,
this chunk
yeah, for industrial.
into this. Okay,
And there again, it's an overlay if the residents don't want to,
Right, if the way it's forced to do
yeah.
Is there any value in having, if you want a walkable community, is there any value in where you zone the school or what you do on that school property, you know, and you're talking about walkable. One of the things that makes things interesting is that an elementary school kids can walk to. I don't know what that pink versus white
it.
means.
You'll, there's big walnut, you'll never see kids being able to walk to school. From what I've been told by certain board members.
Okay. I just,
They,
I've heard
the
walkable like a
bus
double
picks them up across the street from the school.
Well, yeah, when they're talking walkable, they're talking a more condensed unit, community with parks and shops. That you're not getting in your car and commuting 5 or 10 minutes. Is what's considered a walkable community, and you're out walking. To Center Village, I mean, they could conceivably walk to Sours, but then once they're in middle school, that doesn't, it doesn't make any difference anymore.
I think in this day and age, there is very little interest in elementary age kids not being under control.
Yeah,
It's just too risky.
yeah. So the
It's a
walkable
sad
community.
thing, but I mean, that's the reality.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know if there's anything to what pink and white means, I'm just trying to. New Albany's, they're walking to, what, 2 miles, right?
Mhm.
So,
But they have
Literally,
incredible.
the bus would stop and pick the ones up right across the street. They come across the street to the school.
But do kids actually walk, or does walking mean the parents drop them off?
No,
That's
in
a
Albany,
train
they do a lot of walking.
Yeah, they actually do.
The high school,
They have
the high school,
tremendous
high school
interest.
parking lot is farther away than.
They
a lot
have
of
great
places.
infrastructure for that. I mean, it was designed.
Yeah.
good.
Well, I was gonna say you also have sidewalks.
Yes, sidewalks. True.
We want to avoid sidewalks wherever we can.
Well, that's quite a, we've covered quite a chunk there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been our thought, the mixed use on 605 is a big deal. I think that'll mean a lot.
And I think realistically, that last little bit of section, that this is just my input that is left. We need to do some sort of that needs to be residential, and I don't know which direction.
Can you scroll this, so we can see down the future? Because in the comprehensive plan, this section was deemed commercial too.
Right, right.
Right, so we've got mixed use here, right? And so. Would we think there's a? I don't know, I mean,
I think you'll have some commercial fill in along there.
Let me ask a question. If we do that green box, for example, that if they quote unquote some sort of a commercial overlay. Can that also be extended down so that anybody that owns bigger property along through there that would want to have a commercial could potentially pull that cloud down? Because it's like I said, not having commercial along 605 is not going to fly.
So the developers that have coming out, show you where they're at. Or see, I want to fight to say for people.
Saves a way much. It's everything.
So developers are concentrated here and then they come over to here right now. So they know that along here and here, that they're going to come in and ask for some commercial zoning. Some regular commercial zoning. In other words, they can pull down their overlay for the residential part. But they also know that they may want to have some strip centers, restaurants,
So
shopping.
would it be benefit, that's what I asked, would it be beneficial for us and for the township? If we put some sort of an overlay there that would allow them that, but then we control what that looks like.
Well, actually, we'll control it with a planned use. If we make them communicate the planned use.
So you don't see the.
I see that we make them come,
Expand the mixed use.
no,
I don't know.
no, because what we're trying to do is keep as much residential as possible.
Yes.
And so we've already done it, but knowing that these smaller parcels along here could be commercial, you make them come in for a planned unit. That way, and you can control it. You'll actually control it because he's not pulling the cloud down and saying, I'm doing this.
True is this.
Does the planned unit zoning code have like all?
Well, so what happens is they'll come in and it'll be a specific. They'll have to come in for specific use.
Okay, and it would have,
And then it would
does it
say
have
he wants to-
sign standards that are overlays too?
Yeah, we can make them do that.
Okay, I understand. I mean,
Yeah, because what happens is,
that these pieces here.
well, so yeah, these pieces,
Here.
so they're just gonna take the edge. So I don't know, you know, so they're gonna take the edge.
They don't need all that.
Well,
No,
But
because they want to rack it.
And then residential.
Right, because they want residential behind that. If you remember, I guess that sort of dates me. The original planning used to be that you would put your commercial along thoroughfare, let's take like the old North Road or 161. Then you had commercial, then you had apartments, then you had twin singles, and then you had residential.
Yeah.
So they've gotten away from that, but you're still gonna have your commercial and toned down commercial and then residential. So what you don't wanna do is give them, you wanna give them enough, let them ask for the commercial to supplement the rooftops that are there. Does that make sense? That's all.
To support the rooftops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For instance, when Kroger's went to Sunbury. I would talk to the builders about that. So in order to get Kroger's to come to Sunbury, Kroger's, and this is the old fashioned way of doing it. But Kroger's want to know how many rooftops are there and how many were coming. And you need community and then you also need drive-by. And so at the time, there weren't enough rooftops. So there was a big fight with Kroger's, where you know, we promised you the rooftops, then the recession hit after Kroger's committed. So there was a big problem, you know, Kroger's, oh, we're gonna back out. So they didn't. Now it's one of their busiest Kroger stores ever. But so what happens is those rooftops come in, those guys are holding that ground for commercial. And then they'll decide based on what's out there, what to do with that. We can't tell them what to do. You know, they'll decide, you know, the market will decide what comes in there.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that discussion.
So are you ready for us to start writing something for the screen area?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay. Do we want to talk about, dwelling units,
Which-
per
which-
acre, that sort of thing? Or do
Which
you wanna-
mixed use, yeah, which one do we want to use?
Or a new one, something different, there's things that we don't like about.
I would look at what we've already got and see if there's anything in it that's objectionable for that location.
Okay,
That's my suggestion.
sure.
I was just gonna say, take what we have, apply it, and then we'll discuss. Like Steve said, anything.
So you're thinking of the one along,
Fancher.
well, you want to do Fancher, you want to do the one on, the lower section on,
Yeah,
or like the county
line A or whatever that's
yeah.
Yeah. Cause that's gonna be heavy traffic.
Yeah, very much.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, it's gonna be no different than county line up in that area.
yeah.
Okay.
And by putting, then we put our design standards and stuff on there and setbacks, I think that'll help.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
That's enough. I keep you busy for a day or two.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, right around. Okay.
And then that industrial will just be the same as, The industrial we put over there.
That'll be C.
You can see.
Just to
Okay.
continue with-
So it would wrap.
Branching that over, okay.
Okay, great.
All right,
That's all I have to say.
good.
Well, we did more work.
Yeah, we did. All right. Well,
Well, that's, having already done it, see how fast that went compared to when we first started. You know, it's like, whoa. Plus, we all know our township now. It's not like we don't know. You know, the properties.
I just got confirmation from Holly, so it will go through the whole
so it does,
process, yeah. But it, again, will only.
but it can't affect.
It
what's
can't
in-
affect what exists.
It will only affect
Okay,
the map and
we'll only have to worry about potential.
So we wouldn't be going backwards. There's nothing that we would potentially risk like existing, undoing what we've done.
That's good. Then. I was misunderstanding what was said. All righty, well. If there's nothing else, then we'll go to the different committees. Anybody have anything? So I guess Jim.
Bruce, were you gonna talk about roads?
Yeah, yes, I was. You want to go ahead and go, or you want me to go first?
Go right ahead, Bruce.
So a few of us had a good meeting last week with the Delaware County Engineers Office, their township liaison, Doug Rydell. Good meeting. We were working to establish a communication strategy so that we're at least in the loop with them on everything that they're thinking about and working on planning. So they, I think, recently signed contracts for the county line, Fancher and Center Village Road intersection improvements. I think they're also have an engineer assigned for the Fancher and Harlem Road intersection improvement. But they also are beginning to do some, I'm going to say, investigation on. We've talked a lot about Fancher and Center Village roads, right? So right now they're just talking about improvements to those two roads. So what we're trying to impress upon them is look, as you're going through that process, we'd like to understand what you're thinking and then share what we know about what development is already, planned for the area, what we know has been perhaps purchased, so that we can make sure that they have an open mind when they're thinking about things. And certainly Doug seemed very open to that. He had a couple takeaways from the meeting, and we'll continue to have dialogue with him. So this coming week, I know Carl mentioned AEP meetings. I know there's some AEP meetings happening this week. I think we're hoping to get updates on the Vassal power line plans. I know that work is continued. So, Carl's going to attend certainly, those, at least one of those meetings that I'm aware of, to get updates. And really, these meetings were requested by AEP. So that's why we feel pretty comfortable we're going to be getting updates from them. The other thing we have going on next week is a few of us will be meeting, getting a status update with the Delaware County Sewer Group. The last time we met with them, we promised that once we looked at some additional overlays and they worked themselves through the system, that we would get back together and share that detail with them in the map, so they knew what has been approved in the township. They late and asked if they could invite Delco Water to attend, and we said we thought we had a meeting with Delco, but I think that ended up getting canceled. So it works out well. I think that Delco Water will be at that meeting, so we can make sure that they're aware of everything that's going on and we can understand their progress. But we're looking forward to getting any updates out of Delaware County Sewer folks. Had a good meeting a couple of months ago, and we'll be interested to see how much work they've done to put planning in place as the sewer extension from Columbus continues. I think that's all I have on my list. I did have some conversations with Tom Need about re-energizing the watershed group, which we've kind of left silent since we had so much going on with AEP. So I believe we're going to be working on putting that group back together and get some updates, particularly with, what may be coming forward on the Conservancy at Duncan Run project. Is at least we're hearing they're getting closer to wanting to move forward with that. So that's what I got.
Great, sir. So I have one quick question, and I think you kind of alluded to, when you were speaking with Doug, the term improvement wasn't really defined, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. I mean, certainly, I think they're talking about roundabouts with these county line, Fancher and Center Village.
I guess I'm thinking more of if they have a plan, or if it's on it, if somebody has a drawing somewhere, what are they gonna do to Center Village? What are they gonna do to Fancher?
So undefined,
Improvement could be pavement or widening.
Correct. So what we suggested to them is that, look, there are some, particularly on the Fancher Road corridor, right? There are some developers that have been interested in perhaps some alternatives. We shared, the updates of, what's, with the trailer park and things like that. So I didn't have a sense that they have a decision or even really which direction they want to go. But our concern was, if they're thinking very focused on only, let's say, for instance, if they think that widening Fancher Road is a good idea, have they thought more globally that maybe there's some alternatives that could perhaps make that easier with some of the other roundabouts that are going to be happening, as you go east through the township. So they committed to sharing with us and inviting us to share some thoughts we have, but I didn't get a sense that they had any definition, only very, very beginning in the process, because the roundabouts are the high priority right now for them.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah. On developers and activity, large property was closed on, had been in contract. 65 acres was closed on by a developer over on Miller Paul. Another property is now in play, just off of 605, not real large, about 30-40 acres. So things continue to, and of course, these are the things we hear about. So things continue to move. One thing that has really come to light lately is water. And the demand for water, if you're watching what's going on in Licking County, they are fighting. First, they're fighting over sewer. Now we're fighting over electric. Now we're fighting over water. And there's not enough water available to handle all the industrial over there. So
Big surprise.
yeah. So what's happening? Yeah. But anyway, so now there's not enough water. Everybody's fighting over the water. So that will impact us here. So as Bruce talked, I haven't had a chance to fill him in. So we did have a Delco meeting scheduled. It was canceled because now we're invited to go to the Delco headquarters. Before it was going to be here. Now we're going to Delco headquarters with all their maps and all that to try to work out how we're going to get water. Because it's not just us sitting down and saying we want to do this and we're improving this area and this area, is they're going to have to figure out, and maybe with some strategic partners, how to get water. And we never thought when we started this process that we would have a water problem.
Well, do we have a water problem really or not?
The water problem is, they're sucking all the water over in Licking County.
Oh, okay, so you're saying Licking problem is becoming our problem.
Yes.
Yes.
But they don't, and they are served by Delco?
No, but Delco can't go over there and get it water. Delco is having a hard time servicing Sunbury, Berkshire, all those areas.
Okay, all right.
So, then you have Columbus, who's providing water on the south end, says we're not providing, we can't give you enough water. So they can't go to Columbus to get water. The New Albany company's having a problem getting more water. So it's a big water battle. I don't have all the ins and outs on that,
Wow,
other than all of a sudden it's all hands on deck.
wow.
And I don't think it's just, I think if, somebody wants to put in a small subdivision with, like we're gonna do there on Harlem Road. With 20 some houses, residential, I don't think that's a problem. I think what we have is these 100-acre parcels. That are gonna have, 150, 200 houses, that's a problem.
Or the projected industrial, which uses way more.
Or we get into industrial and, those lines. And how they're gonna get the lines there. So like I said, it went from, a nice cozy meeting here at the fire station to we're going to headquarters. So, and also, it's all hands on deck for utilities because what you don't want to do, and especially if you look at the private sector. So, you're a builder and you go out and you buy 30 or 40 acres and you want to put some houses in. And you've got your zoning and you get your approvals and all of a sudden you can't get electric or you can't get water. And so you're gonna have to wait a year or two. Well, that's costly.
Oh, yeah.
That's just costly. So, these type of things that we never thought we were gonna have these problems when we first started, or we were naive when we first started.
I guess that's probably what it is. Because
Well, we didn't realize
just
what-
as we first started is when Delco was here at a trustees meeting 2 years ago, roughly,
Yeah.
giving us an update.
Yeah.
And talking about where they were gonna place their next tower. and,
Yeah.
And the tower that was primarily being put there to service the growth of Harlem Township.
Yeah,
So, anyway, hopefully, next meeting or two, we'll have some answers. On where they perceive getting the water and how they're gonna get it, if we're gonna be restricted. As to timelines. So there again, we don't know, I know Sunbury gave up their water plant to Delco. I think Sunbury used to be sufficient on water, and they gave theirs up. And so you don't have, and I assume is Galena Delco too? Does anybody know? So you don't have any other players. You got Columbus, you got Westerville. I don't know if they can trade water. We can trade water. I don't know. We're gonna find out. So like I said, now we've got power, AEP, sewers, and now water. And I don't want to hear the cable company can't get cable to us either.
Big ass pipe coming down. from
Elon Musk.
Mentor.
I was
So,
gonna say, well,
anyway,
like this is the Great Lakes region, there can't be a shortage of water.
yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got other than, Mike and I've been on the phone trying to work on these meetings and coordinating and, you get one set and then you find out, oh, shoot, now we gotta go up here. And then, finding the people and the manpower to go and do things and it's been quite a job. Plus, we have, 2 meetings with AEP.
Yes.
There's 2 meetings with AEP, so it's been busy. It's been busy. Okay, any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Well, you got anything?
No real update. I need to check if any more requests have come through for being added to the distribution list, but I've also not really sent anything out to the distribution list in a while, because there hasn't been a whole lot of significant updates, other than changing to the 1 meeting a month. So I suppose probably the next big update that, I'll send out would be if we have something if we're gonna do another round of community meetings after the holidays or anything like that, so.
Would it be worth just, 'cause we've had a lot of good engagement this year. from the residents. So we want to,
Send a
if
thank you.
nothing else, well,
Yeah.
yeah, send a, you know, an end of year message from
holidays
the
and-
community or from the committee saying,
Suggest that.
thanks for all your engagement. You know,
Yes.
we've made tremendous progress this year.
Yeah, it's true.
And we have a lot more on our plate. And you'll be hearing more come the first of the year. I mean, that would be
Yeah, that makes sense. That's,
just thanks for your help.
No,
I agree, it's a good idea.
think that's an excellent idea. This, you know, I've been in contact and had communications with other township. It's Harlem Township needs to have their head held really high because we've done something that none of the rest of them even thought about doing, and they're just now coming on board. We are so far because of the residents in this group in Harlem Township is mind-boggling to people.
Yeah, we just don't want to leave them back.
And I think something out to all the residents, you know, that are on our email
Yeah.
list, you know, I think it's perfect.
okay, I'll
We're
draft
looking
something and
forward to a better year next year.
get something out by mid-month or something like that.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Steve.
All right, anybody else, anything?
Did you have any more thoughts, Steve, on at what point we would like try to meet with the school district, school board?
Well, you know, we were kind of heading down the path to set that up. And
They were all gonna come and talk to us at that night that they were here
Yeah,
to meet the
but-
candidates night.
but there was an entree to just go talk with the chair of the board.
Okay.
I think that's a standing entree, and so I think we just wanted, we got too close to the election, and so at that point, we just did
Backed
decide to
off.
let it ride. So why don't you and I think about finding some time in January, and we'll go engage them.
Familiar with.
But I don't know that they're, I don't know that I would, I don't like.
But at least you're a local mom.
I am a local mom, that is
Yeah.
true. I will have
And
to,
Holly's happy, she said she was willing to join in with.
yeah, I think I'll be fine if it's, you know, since it'll be a focused, you know, topic.
Okay,
On the growth in this, and et cetera.
I was gonna say, wait, some, you know, mace or something,
I just feel like I know the school board is probably not very fond of me.
Well, the other thing is, now that they've got some, you know, they're just trying to figure out what they're doing. Through the next month or so, and so, we'll re-engage in January.
Okay,
Okay.
All right, I think that sounds like.
that's when the new school board member will be on board at that point.
Right, let's see how that goes.
That's true, you'll have the new members on by then.
Yeah, there's one new member.
One,
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so anybody on Zoom have anything they'd like to say before we move on and close out the meeting?
I don't have any open chats here.
Okay.
So,
Anybody, any public here? Got anything? Just- We're all waiting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All from the same side.
Thank-
Thanks, everybody.
No. This is.